Good afternoon. My name is Gabe, and I am joined with my group, Bryce, Jacob, Ryan, and Michael. We are here to talk to you about bring your own device. To start off, we have a short video to show, and then I'll hand it off to Bryce, who will talk more about bring your own device.
The consumerization of IT has blurred the line between work and personal. Employees are investing in the latest and most advanced mobile devices and want to be able to use them at work. But this introduces a wide range of security threats. How will you protect corporate data on personal devices? AirWatch's solution for Bring Your Own Device, BYOD, securely integrates personal devices in the enterprise by supporting the latest mobile technologies, separating and securing corporate resources on personal devices, including corporate email, saving email attachments in a secure container, deploying an app catalog for enterprise apps, and protecting sensitive documents in a secure content locker application. It's easy and convenient for your employees to enroll their devices into AirWatch by using their corporate credentials. Integrating these credentials with your directory services provisions the device based on the user's specific role and group membership. Enforce a custom terms of use agreement designed for employee-owned devices to communicate what information is being collected and what actions the company can take on the device. After a compliance check, the device is instantly enabled with secure access to corporate email, Wi-Fi, VPN, and other resources. Profiles are installed based on the device type, user role, and access level. For secure access to enterprise apps, a custom app catalog is installed on the device where employees can access internal apps, recommended public apps, and purchased apps separately from personal apps. For secure access to corporate content, the Secure Content Locker application is installed on the device as a secure container where employees can access the latest documents and save email attachments. Files are encrypted to ensure
So, what is Bring Your Own Device? Well, as the name suggests, BYOD is an IT policy where companies allow their employees to use their own personal devices anytime on the job. So this will give your employees the freedom to choose the devices that they want to use. They're going to be comfortable with these devices, familiar with them, and no training is necessary for them to use the devices because it's theirs. They know how to use it. So now I'm going to share a brief history of BYOD. So the term was first introduced in 2009. However, 2010 is really when the idea just started to spread. And in 2011, BYOD just took off. According to an Aberdeen report, and I quote, 75% of enterprises now had a BYOD policy. That's a huge number, and it continued to climb in the future years. And now in today's world, BYOD may not be a term everyone is familiar with, doesn't have the same flair. However, you could name any company, and there's a more than decent chance that BYOD has been introduced to them. And perhaps even you yourself have had the opportunity to work from your own personal device already. So you may also be wondering where BYOD can be implemented in your business. Well, the good news is BYOD can be used virtually anywhere in an organization. It doesn't matter if you're in the accounting department, marketing, a secretary, BYOD can be put to use as long as there's some kind of technological device being used. The trick, however, is finding which areas will be the most compatible with bringing your own device. And fortunately, that is where we come in. However, first, you may want to know the purpose of BYOD and what we're going to be achieving by using it. So this will be addressed in more detail later on, but it's important to graze over it now to get a feel for it. A major benefit of BYOD is employee satisfaction. Employees will be using their own devices, so the frustrations of learning new devices is going to be completely eliminated. Plus, a satisfied employee is going to lead to a harder working employee. And those employees will most likely have better customer relations, so they're going to feel good about themselves and hopefully pass that on to customers. Also, reducing costs is always a big goal for a company, and luckily BYOD will accomplish that too. They do that by turning the cost to the employee. Now that sounds like a bad thing for the employee, but usually the employee already has the device and use it for their own personal needs, so really it's not an extra cost if they already own it. And these are only a few benefits of BYOD, and more are sure to follow. So now my colleague, Jake, will take over from here.
Hi, my name is Jake, and I will be continuing our discussion on BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device. I will be talking about cost and benefits, then I will talk about a few limitations, and lastly, I will talk about the one major risk factor with BYOD. The first benefit is the ability of companies to shift some of their technology expenses to their employees. Now, these savings can be as much as $80 per user. These savings happen because a company no longer has to buy laptops, phones, or tablets for all of their employees. Many employees actually prefer to use their own devices because they're more comfortable with them and they can operate them easier. The next benefit is the amount of extra work that your employees can accomplish by being able to work from home anywhere and anytime. According to IBM Mobile First, having this ability saves an average of 45 to 60 minutes a week per employee. This results in great savings for your company since you are paying your employees the same amount of money, but they are doing more work. Now, there are some additional costs that a company will have whenever they implement a BYOD program. They may find that some employees expect a reimbursement for using their own devices for work. There's also an average of $300 per year of extra cost. These costs include training and education for your employees on the proper way to use their devices, the cost of designing an application, and the extra cost that your IT department will have due to the increased number of service calls. Now, these costs can vary widely depending on how much you want to spend. For example, for training, you can just send out an email explaining your company's policies and procedures, or you can go as far as hiring outside consultants and they can teach a seminar. Now, there have been several limitations reported, mostly about problems with software. According to the Sunday Business Post, there are some problems with software licensing laws. If a software just has a corporate license, then it cannot be deployed to a device owned by a third party. There's also the issue of some business apps only working on PC, and this is a problem because the majority of businesses operate with PC, but many individuals own and use Mac products. The one major risk with BYOD is, of course, security. Who owns company data on your employees' devices? What happens if an employee leaves the company? These and there are many other questions that you definitely need to figure out the answers to before you implement a program. One possible solution is to hire an MDM, or a mobile device management company. These services can run anywhere from $50 to $150 per device per year, but many companies offer discounts the more devices you have, and discounts if you sign a longer contract. These costs, of course, negate the $300 cost that I was talking about earlier. And now Ryan will tell you a little bit more about these companies.
Now first we're going to talk about AirWatch. AirWatch takes companies' current mobile issues and simplifies them. Their main goal is to create a smarter, easier way for the company to connect on multiple different devices. AirWatch allows companies to configure, secure, support, and manage multiple tablets and devices all at the same time to help create an easier way to communicate within an organization. Now this allows for companies to be able to grow much easier as it makes it more of a web-based company. AirWatch is known for its abilities to help reduce costs and increase efficiency while also preventing data loss and creating a secure network. The next vendor we're going to talk about is Citrix. Citrix takes on the challenge of working with companies and employees to help manage information to create an easier, more productive way of using devices inside a company. This specifically works with apps and creating easier ways to get them out for a company. Employees are not demanding a quicker means of operating now with more on-the-go usage to help them with everyday business. The goal for Citrix is to create a safe and free working environment for business to ensure a simpler way of doing everyday work for the on-the-move employees. With this companies are creating ways to make life simpler and faster for everyone who works inside of a company. And now the last one we're going to talk about is SAP. SAP is the world's third largest individual software manufacturer. Their main goal as a company is to make a business run smoother with less issues. They pride themselves on creating an easier work environment for any company, and they pride themselves on creating the latest and greatest inventions to help companies grow and expand. Now I'm going to pass it on to Michael.
Hello, today I'm going to be discussing two different case studies that have been completed in industry. First off, we are going to look at how AirWatch by VMware was implemented by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Then we will be moving forward and discussing how a federal agency uses Citrix Mobile Management Suite to implement new devices into service. After discussing each case study, I will provide our group's final recommendation on what provider our group has chosen. To start, I would like to discuss the problem that the Army Corps of Engineers faced while aiding in natural disasters. The time required to fill out the paperwork and time spent sending it to the centralized location was completely outdated. Only at this time, an inspector from the Army Corps of Engineers could be sent to the site. The Corps of Engineers needed a solution that would drastically reduce the claim processing time and ultimately reduce the time in which a family would have to suffer from the tragedy that they were currently facing. In 2010, this problem was addressed by the Army Corps of Engineers Reachback Operations Center and the Information and Technology Laboratory. They found to accomplish the mission of reducing the time in emergency response process, they would need to partner with AirWatch to implement a system that would promote speed and efficiency in assisting victims of natural disasters. AirWatch's Enterprise Mobility Management Suite was a critical factor in cutting down the response time required for a claim to be processed and aid to be delivered to a family in need. AirWatch started managing all of the devices within the fleet of the mobile devices with the Army Corps of Engineers. Once AirWatch was implemented, the Corps of Engineers were able to create an app called Blue Roof, which was compatible with over 120 mobile devices. This application allowed inspectors to quickly set up kiosks at command centers and families to enter data to be sent automatically to the claim center. Once the claim is received, the customer will receive updates on their claim instead of waiting multiple days completely in the dark whether assistance is going to be available. Blue Roof and the Corps of Engineers gives families hope in a very rough time in their lives. The next case that I am going to discuss is an issue that a federal agency faced recently. As you may know, BlackBerry has always been known for having secure devices, but as many people switch over to iPhones and Android devices, there was a need for these devices to operate securely over corporate networks and also be managed using enterprise mobility management suites. The agency found a solution to this problem by deploying a Citrix Enterprise Mobility Management Suite. The Citrix suite is comprised of Zen Mobile mobile device management for overall device management, such as wiping the devices if an employee is let go or a device is lost or stolen, and also it allows to give rights to groups and users. Also, WorkX Mail, which is a secure mail server that can also share files, and finally WorkX Home, which allows secure access to software as a service application. As you can see, the transition from older BlackBerry devices was necessary, but also very manageable with the use of Citrix. As you saw from both case studies, both companies provide excellent services that when implemented correctly can streamline almost any business or management issue. When our team decided on a final recommendation, we found that the key factors that were most important to us were price, product, support, and also how well the suites interacted with small business, and also the ease of implementation. After taking all of this information into consideration, we narrowed it down between Citrix and AirWatch. But our final decision had to be AirWatch. Their significantly lower costs and their base screen management suite was the biggest factor in our decision.
So in conclusion, we explained what is Bring Your Own Device, some of the pros and cons of Bring Your Own Device, introduced 3 top companies in the industry, and also gave our final recommendation, which was AirWatch. I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation, and thank you.